welcome today to the Approaches to Address Challenges in Vendor Management. My name is Marla Helly, and I will be your trainer. Just a little bit about myself. I have clinical research background and expertise looking not only from the site level, so I've been a research coordinator, as well as a CRA and a clinical project manager, both on the sponsor and CRO side. I am certified through ACRP as a CCRA, and I am certified through PMI as a project management professional, So I have some handouts for the course, and these are some items that we will be looking at during today's training. And also we can talk about some other things that might be helpful to put into place, such as a quality management plan and how this needs to be agreed upon prior to the execution of a trial. So our learning objectives today are to identify those key approaches to help us in our planning and preparing to outsource, and looking at this to help improve our relationships with our vendors. So what is it that we identify up front and making sure that we've selected the right vendor? Also look at the key components for our formal study or evaluation of our vendor's performance. So how is our vendor actually performing for this particular clinical trial? And then identify what adequate vendor oversight is from a sponsor perspective. And then lastly, look at how we can look at what was completed at the end of the project and do some lessons learned to help us look at what we might want to consider for our future. So basically saying, okay, we've used this particular vendor, we've closed out the study. What were our lessons learned to help us as a team and moving forward? Because it really is about process improvement as well, and ensuring that we continue to improve our processes that we put into place as a sponsor in vendor selection. So with this, we'll begin with looking at the factors that we need to consider in both planning and preparing for vendor outsourcing. So when I look at both vendors, I look at not only, say, a CRO, a contract research organization, but we may need a vendor to assist, which could be something such as a core lab, for example. So before we get started, let's take a moment just to chat your thoughts on why do sponsors utilize CROs or vendors in the execution of clinical trials. And perhaps you can also share one of your positive experiences that you've encountered and perhaps a challenge that you may have seen your team have to address with a vendor. I'll wait just a moment for you to share your thoughts. So I see you have good CROs, have developed relationships with sites and know their history and performance. Excellent. And also, you need to have more resources. So that's why vendors are being utilized by sponsors or CROs. We don't have the manpower, if you will, in order to do the work. And so the CRO helps fill that gap, or perhaps we are going into another country. We don't have a presence in that country. So yes, we may need to hire a CRO that has that expertise to help us. And we see those positive experiences, like you said, those strong relationships that have been created, which we really want to see that, and also a history of strong performance. What about any challenges? Have you ever received feedback from your team on any challenges? You can chat and say yes or no. Or perhaps even an area that is of concern. Oh, great. One CRO in particular has a well-developed program to communicate with sponsors that is not dependent upon the particular characteristics of their study personnel. They have established KPIs and communication plans that are very helpful. Excellent. So this is helping ensure that we have that daily communication and feedback. So excellent. Okay, so I wanted to go to the definition that ICH uses for what a contract research organization is. And I always like to reference the regulations or ICH if I can, because I think that really helps us get the best understanding. And I just see a challenge that you shared. So let me bring that in, and that will kind of help us as we go forward here. So CROs or otherwise do not come to meetings prepared as a challenge. Yeah. So as the sponsor, you don't know what the issues are. And so you're not able to hear what's happening, or perhaps they may not be as forthright in sharing of the problem. So that really is important, and we're going to talk about why that's important. So ICH states that a CRO is defined as a person or an organization. And I think this is important because we sometimes may hire an independent consultant, and so that falls in this category of a CRO as defined by ICH. And this can be somebody at either commercial level, academic, or other, as I mentioned, so an independent consultant that is contracted by the sponsor to perform one or more of the sponsor's trial-related duties and functions.